I was meant to do a 10-kilometer run, like without stopping. Oh my god, it's all foggy. Yeah, now I'm having a rest at 5k. This is hard. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm attempting an 11k, and oh my god, I seem to be getting slower. I think it's because I'm pushing myself too hard, so. Oh yeah, I'm running without headphones for the first time, and it's really hard, so I gotta learn how to like breathe properly and stuff. I don't think I am. Okay, I can't believe this. But apparently that run, in which I walked a fair bit of it, it was my longest ever run that I'd recorded on my app. I set a new mile record, new 1-kilometer record, new 5-kilometer record, new 10-kilometer record. I'm like, I'm shook. I'm really shook. It just shows that if you think you're doing bad, you never are. That is my, that is my Alzheimer Society t-shirt. Oh my god, it's 4 days till the Brighton Half Marathon. And the weather over the past 2-3 days has been incredible, like the most lovely sunny weather. It's so sunny and beautiful. So that's something unexpected, because I've been running like without sunglasses or a cap on or anything, because I'm usually overcast and grey. So now I'm going to try and run in the sun and hopefully not burn myself. That is a lot of people. It almost doesn't look real. How do you feel, Mum?
Oh, I'm surprised there's so many people here.
Superb. Well done, Charlie. Great to see you back.
That was hard. That was harder than I thought it would be. But I did it. Hopefully what you just saw previously was a montage of clips that I filmed on my phone, so I thought I would keep it casual, I wouldn't do my hair or whatever. Oh yeah, that's the shorter now. It is now a bob. I donated it to the Little Princess Trust. I will link their website down below. It's an amazing cause. I was originally just going to have that montage that you just watched, and then was like, you know what, I'm not covering enough stuff that I want to cover just in those clips. Tips and tricks, what the day was like from a first-hand perspective. Bearing in mind, it was about a fortnight ago, because I've been addicted to Skyrim and have played about 30 hours of it over the last week, which is, it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot. Anyway, let's just get started on it. The Brighton Half Marathon was on Sunday, this date. So England recently had a very warm spell, like it's like one of the warmest Februaries ever or something. That coincided with the date that the half marathon was, so it was very sunny. Thankfully it wasn't too hot, but it was definitely hotter and brighter than I was used to running. So I was worried about the main day and thought maybe I'd find it harder than I anticipated because of the weather conditions, but thankfully it was a-okay. So how did I prep for it? The main prep that I did was I aimed to do a long run a week and then a short run. So I started just with long runs, and by that I mean I ran 5k one week and then I ran 6k the next week. And I know half marathons are like measured in miles usually, so maybe I should have done my runs through miles. It would have felt less long on the actual day, but unfortunately I did not do that. I did it in kilometres, so every week I would up 1 kilometre, and that was kind of my thing for a while. And then it got to about 10k a week, once a week by the way, not like loads a week. And then I was like, you know what, I could fit a short run in as well. So I started doing a 5k on the same week as my, I think it was like 11k at that point. A very tricky transition for me. My body was a bit like, oh, this is too much. And like I was very exhausted and fatigued, particularly when I started getting into the 10k plus kind of range with my longer runs. I started feeling a bit dehydrated like the next day, and I'd get weird headaches and feel fuzzy and stuff. I think that happened because I wasn't drinking enough water. Definitely get as much hydration as you can in, and also eat enough. But that's kind of self-explanatory, because you're burning a lot of fuel doing these runs. At the end of, I think it was like Christmas, like the end of December or November or something, where I couldn't run for 2 weeks because I had a massive cold, and this stupid cold would not go. It was like the longest lasting thing ever. And I honestly at one point was like, I'm not going to get better. This is just my life now. I'm just gonna have this cough forever. And usually I'd run through colds, honestly, but like this was enough to make me think like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be running. And that obviously threw me off my stride, literally. I think I'd worked up to 11 by that point. I was like, I can't do 11 off the bat, so I'm going to go back to 7 and then keep going up a kilometre a week again. There's also two aspects of my runs in the beginning that I needed to change. One of them was the time I was running, because the actual half marathon starts at 9:30 in the morning, so I decided to scale back the time of my runs and would usually end up doing them probably like an hour after breakfast, so I'd end up doing that at noon. And the second thing was that I was running with music on headphones, wireless headphones, pretty much the entire time that I trained. I think it was like the second to last run before the actual half marathon, which is ridiculous. I suddenly had the thought, I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should try running without headphones, and then I think they also broke at the same time. So I decided to just keep running and just concentrate on my breathing. I was just like, wow, I sound like I'm dying. Hearing yourself breathe is a very reliable thing, so I liked it because it was a constant rhythm. Here are some essentials for runs which you may not have thought of. Sun cream, even if it's cloudy, because UV rays exist. Contact lenses, because running in glasses is a pain in the arse. I've tried it before, not worth it. And suitable leggings, i.e. ones that don't fall down all the time, because my god, that is my biggest bugbear about most sports leggings. You need to find leggings with massive bands around the waist area. That is the only thing that's going to stop them slipping down, I'm afraid. Foam rolling. So I bought this foam roller ages ago. It's like a long tube that looks like a pool noodle. That's what it looks like. And you roll out on it. You can look up tutorials for it, but it's pretty self-explanatory, and that's pretty much saved me, I think, many a time, both working out and running. Yeah, they're really cheap, and that's what I do every time after I ran. Oh yeah, I did try and do some ab workouts, because I know that a lot of running relies on your abs, like, and your core, so I just did a few ab stuff after I ran, not all the time. Sometimes I'd come back and be like, foam roll, that's it, and drink a lot of water. It definitely helped my posture, it helped my running a lot, so I highly recommend doing some minor ab exercises. Some quick fire tips. The Nike Run app is free and it's excellent. Soft knees. I would constantly repeat in my head, soft knees, and that really not only provided as a distraction to the run, was a good practical tip, because you do not want to be pounding the pavements literally, because your knees will hate you. In a similar vein, mantras / encouragement is really helpful for me. I know it sounds a bit egotistical and weird, but just saying to myself like, oh, well done, Niamh, you're doing so well, and blah blah blah, like in my head, obviously, not out loud, because that is a bit crazy. It's not actually. You can do what you want. Just repeating those kind of things helps. Focus on the present, not the destination. I discovered this on the actual half marathon day. I was like looking at destinations and like landmarks and being like, I want to run to that. Particularly on the home stretch of the half marathon, you're kind of running back up the seafront, and there is the I-360 tower, a tower of much debate in Brighton, because it is a weird looking thing. I don't know how people ran this route before that thing existed, because that was the only thing I was focusing on. That made me so exhausted, because the entire time I was like, oh god, it's still not getting any closer, and then I'd want to walk instead of run, and yeah, so don't do that. Don't try and focus on distances, try and focus on what you're currently doing, and then just relaxing into the moment. Here are some funny during half marathon thoughts. Where are the drinking stations? I didn't feel like there was enough water stations personally. I looked at the map afterwards and I definitely don't think there were enough. I think there were 3. The full Brighton Marathon, I think there's like 7 or something. I was like, why can't there be more frigging drinking stations? It got so thirsty. The seafront is longer than I thought. Where's mum and dad? Is that my auntie? I legit saw this lady twice, and both times I thought it was her and it wasn't. Why do I have like frowny veins? Okay, if the sound sounds any different now, that's because my microphone fell off and now I can't reattach it to where it was, so I'm going to have to hold it below me. So many crowd members would just hold out jelly babies. The sweets was so appreciated, although to be fair, I couldn't run and eat at the same time, so if I had a jelly baby I would like eat it and then walk while I ate it and then run again. They were very appreciated. I had a massive breakfast, I had a massive bowl of oatmeal, but at the same time, you know, like you need fuel, it keeps you going, definitely. Everyone is so nice and supportive. There's that person again. Sometimes I'd just see the same person running and be like, oh yeah, that's them. Lastly, God, this is kind of boring, but it's also kind of fun. I love a good challenge. So post-marathon thoughts. I keep saying marathon, half marathon, not the full marathon. Not as exhausting as you think. I wasn't tired afterwards. I didn't immediately want to sit down and be like, oh, I don't ever want to do this again, which is what everyone that's done a half marathon seems to think. Immediately after, I was not like that. I was like, I feel fine. I think my mum and dad, they kind of met me halfway around the course. I feel like they should have brought some water for me, but that's not their fault. That's my fault for not telling them that, because I didn't know that would be a thing. But yeah, definitely they should have brought some water for me. I did hobble a lot on the day after. It was mildly painful on my feet specifically. I had work the next day as well, so that was fun. It put me off running for a fortnight. I haven't run in 2 weeks now. I kind of want to, but I also kind of don't want to, because I was running for a goal before and now that goal's kind of passed and happened, and I'm very happy with myself about it. It's kind of like, what do I do now? Oh yeah, and this is like a bonus tip. Like, I didn't know where I was meant to start and like stand, and like I couldn't find the information anywhere, but it turns out the number that you get assigned has a background colour that is then your pen colour. So wherever your pen is, your starting pen is that colour. You have to say how quickly you think you'll complete it, and then they'll give you a number and colour based on that. Sorry, I look a bit like a gremlin right now. I knew I'd forget something. I read this book. This is Running Like a Girl by Alexandra Hemingsley. I'll link this below too. So accessible, so kind of funny, heart-wrenching at the same time. Alexandra did 5 marathons or something, but this is kind of her journey into it as someone who'd never thought she was going to do any kind of running, from getting the right equipment to planning her runs to doing the marathon. This was really encouraging and also really funny, and I highly recommend it. I zipped through this book because I loved it so much, and it's got some excellent tips in it as well. Thanks for watching again, and I will see you guys hopefully soonish, because I'm feeling more YouTube inspired recently. Goodbye.